Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Helen Liao. It's good to have you with us. Coming up in this week's top stories, Tzu Chi volunteers in the Philippines take part in the Marathon Recycling Day by cleaning up a beach that is filled with garbage. On their recent visit to the Taichung Women Prison, Tzu Chi volunteers are accompanied by Ling Chaoqing, a former drug addict who took the chance to share his story with the inmates. And Tzu Chi volunteers in China's Sichuan province held a humanitarian event at Chaoyang Tzu Chi School for the first time, which was joined by members of the Tzu Chi Teachers Association. On July 15th, 100 people gathered at Dreamland Village in the Philippines to clean up a garbage-covered beach as their way to take part in the Marathon Recycling Day campaign. At the end of the day, 30 bags of garbage were collected and the beach regained its former beauty.
Even though the weather seems to be bad, it's already very hot. However, there are still 40 teachings and 91 university student aid recipients here to clean up the beach.
What we need to pick up are plastic bags, the things that are really causing a lot of problems in the sea.
The waste, including plastic bags, discarded fishing nets and wires, covers the entire beach. The teachings pick up all the garbage and put it into recycling bags.
A lot of little kids also came to participate, and so we took this chance to teach them how to keep their own environment clean.
In addition to the easily visible garbage, the teachings also pick up garbage buried deep into the sand.
Today I learned we have to help the earth. We have to keep our environment clean. Even though I'm injured, I still try my best to help others.
This is the first time for many university students to collect garbage on the beach. Mark, who has trouble walking about, takes part in the cleanup as he hopes to give what he can to safeguard the planet.
Let us learn to recycle. I learned a lot today, though it is a bit tiring, but I am happy because I know I was able to help.
After a whole afternoon of effort, 30 bags of garbage were picked up and the beach regained its former beauty.
This year, Tzu Chis around the globe are celebrating their 20th anniversary by holding a Marathon Recycling Day. The event was held on July 15. It began with youth volunteers gathering at their local recycling station to sort garbage. Taking part in the marathon were also Tzu Chis in Canada's Toronto, New Zealand, and Singapore. In Toronto, Tzu Chi held a beach cleanup. In New Zealand, youth volunteers organized a second-hand charity sale to raise funds for needy students. And in Singapore, like their counterparts in Canada, Tzu Chis also cleaned up a beach. Here's more.
To celebrate Tzu Chi's 20th anniversary, Singapore youth volunteers are picking up rubbish by a popular beachside.
All the garbage is in many pieces and hidden underneath the leaves, so we need to look further and dig it out.
Everyone is surprised to find styrofoam and plastic utensils, as well as fishing lines lying everywhere. The students also double-check the barbecue stand for rubbish.
There's glass and tiles.
There's no border in the sea, so garbage can be found in any corner of this planet.
Singapore is known to the world for its clean environment. Thus, these youth volunteers are surprised to find so much rubbish.
Bring your own shopping bag or recyclable bag. That way you will use one less plastic bag.
Not to litter in any places, even at their homes or in other public places. So we should save our world.
After their cleaning is done, the students also take a ride along the coast to enjoy the cool breeze where they'll learn to appreciate the beauty of nature. Also doing their part for the Planet Art Tzu Chis in New Zealand, who are organizing a bazaar. before sunrise, everyone was already up and traveling to the flea market to set up their stall. Knowing that the charity sale is helping fundraise for those in need, many passers-by happily give what they can.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
The donation will go to East Tamaki Elementary School to help needy students. Tzu Chis regularly visit the school not only to provide tutoring to children, but also to teach them about environmentalism.
Pick up rubbish. And do you do that every day? Every day? Really?
Through promoting recycling, Tzu Chis hope to inspire the love of many others. At 8 a.m. in Canada, Toronto Tzu Chis are demonstrating their love for the planet by cleaning up the environment around a local beach.
Don't pick up feathers and wooden pieces.
Let us clean up this place really nicely this time.
Apart from Tzu Chis, Tzu Chi volunteers also join the day's event to give what they can to make the world a better place.
本来看下去，本来刚人就是还 OK， 可是当我们在清理过以后呢，才发现到那个沉积是在那边的。来到这边看到公园啊。
Coming here to the park, the air is fresh and the scenery is beautiful. When they see this, they will feel relaxed and peaceful.
The Marathon Recycling Day began in Taiwan and was followed by Tzu Chis around the globe. The 100 participants who gathered at the park to pick up rubbish caught the eye of local residents.
Passerby will stop and ask us what organization we are and what we do. One of them said he has lived in this area for so long, but has never seen an organization here to help clean up the environment.
All the Tzu Chis vow to continue their efforts in safeguarding the planet.
Today we meet Tzu Chi alumna Huang Kai-yi, who is currently a teacher and guidance counselor in Tianmu Elementary School. Her experiences as a Tzu Chi helped shape her life, and it is where she learned how to face different problems and communicate with others. Whether at work or with family, the volunteers has learned to forgive and be content with her life. She vows to continue walk the Tzu Chi path.
一些志工妈妈要每一道菜或是点心提过来吗？对啊，随意，就是随意，没有硬性规定打水的这样。
As her school's teacher and guidance counselor, Huang Kai-yi often communicates between parents and teachers.
人事沟通这个部分是我在慈青。
Communicating is a big part of being at Tzu Chi. We often have to communicate with Tzu Chi aunts and uncles, and when we participate in activities, we have to speak with different types of people.
Influenced by her parents, Huang Kai-yi started as a Tzu Chi. From member to Tzu Chi president, this involvement slowly changed her personality.
I'm the youngest daughter in my family, so I've always relied on others to arrange or do things for me. After I've joined Tzu Chi, I became independent and started to take on responsibilities.
A graduate from NTNU's College of Education, besides teaching for 11 years, Huang Kai-yi also mentors students.
Sometimes when students have behavioral problems, I feel deflated and ask myself, why won't that children learn? But sometimes we have to review ourselves. Perhaps we adults have to try a different way.
After becoming a certified Tzu Chi volunteer, Huang actively cares for her community, and when other volunteers have family issues, she is there for support. A mother of two, this Tzu Chi alumna leads high school students into the community.
Sometimes I will use my break time to spend time with my children or pursue Tzu Chi's missions. I mainly worry that I don't have enough time to do it all.
Work, Tzu Chi, and family. In order for these three sectors of life to not conflict, a Tzu Chi family is important.
When I'm taking care of the younger one, I can't go out, but I will bring him when he's older. He can come with me to do Tzu Chi kitchen volunteering or recycling.
The good part about being a Tzu Chi family is that every time I ask my mother-in-law to babysit the children for me on Sundays because I have Tzu Chi event, she will always agrees to do it. I'm very thankful for that.
Firmly on the Tzu Chi path, Huang Kai opens the way for others to follow.
Taichung Tzu Chi volunteers pay regular visits to the city's woman prison. Lin Chaoqing, who was sent to jail 3 times because of drug, left his family heartbroken and was encouraged by the volunteers to change his life. Now he shares his experiences with these inmates, hoping they can change their ways.
Lin openly bows down to his mother in apology, showing the inmates his willingness to repent.
I took drugs until I had no money, and then I would borrow $580 here and $1,080 there. So when my relatives and friends saw me, they would stay far away from me.
He broke his mother's heart and spent a lot of time in jail, even when his child was born. As the mother and son share their sad experiences, many of the prisoners start crying.
I focused on my career and didn't care too much for my child. And so I thought I was to blame, because I should have cared for my son more, so that he wouldn't have turned out like that.
But she didn't give up, and with the help of the volunteers, she brought her son back on the Bodhisattva path.
These Tzu Chi brothers and sisters are all very caring. Following the Tzu Chi path brings one good fortune.
The master says that we shouldn't do wrong things, and when we carelessly do wrong, we should stop and repent.
One should try to get rid of evil and change one's life for the better.
In Hualien County, Shouling Township, a sister and brother pair of care recipients depend on their wheelchairs to get around. With their old wheelchairs broken, the pair was unable to continue with their rehab or escape the heat of their corrugated metal house. Upon hearing the plight of the two, volunteers immediately delivered 2 new wheelchairs in hopes of making the summer a little easier for the wheelchair-bound pair.
Today, volunteers are delivering 2 wheelchairs to a brother and sister care recipient pair. With their old wheelchairs broken, the two have been unable to leave the house for the past month, and so their joy at seeing the new chairs is understandable.
I was really surprised. I didn't think that you would come. If you hadn't, I would have just continued sleeping. You knocked on the door, and when I opened it, I was like, wow, a wheelchair.
The wheelchair is just as important for Lin's brother, as it allows him to continue with his rehab. Also, as the summer days are heating up the corrugated metal house to unbearable levels, the wheelchairs give the brother and sister a way to get outside and escape the heat.
Sickness and old age, the responsibility of the entire family falls on the mother. So we are looking for ways to make life easier for her, so we deliver these chairs. We hope that they can recover quickly and one day even entirely dispense with the wheelchairs. That is our goal.
Protecting the health and nurturing the wisdom of their care recipients, volunteers encourage the brother and sister pair to donate to their bamboo bank as a way to give back and count their blessings.
Now moving to China, where members of the Tzu Chi Teacher Association visited the Chaoyang Tzu Chi School in Mianyang of Sichuan Province on the 11th of July. This is the first time after Tzu Chi assisted the school in rebuilding that the volunteers held a humanitarian event on the campus. To welcome their guests, the school not only called on teachers and students to clean their rooms, but also prepare daily necessity for their guests.
The school is especially lively today, with the humanitarian delegation from Taiwan and the school's teachers giving the mayor of the city a warm welcome with an energetic song. Accompanied by the principal and Tzu Chi volunteers, Jing Dazhong visited the school to take a look at the school's facilities and to thank Tzu Chi for their promised help in building the new premise.
We have to thank Tzu Chi for their care and support, since our teaching venue, as well as the school facilities and equipment, were in a worse shape than imagined.
To welcome their guests from Taiwan, the whole school worked together to prepare sleeping accommodations and other necessities for the visitors. In addition, even the teachers made an effort to help clean up and make sure everything was ready.
Because the conditions at our school are quite tough, the students need to go to the boiler room in order to have hot water. So to avoid trouble, we prepared hot water buckets and wash basins to make it more practical for volunteers to stay overnight.
That iron pipe is hot water and the plastic one is cold. When you use the water, you should pay attention. Be sure not to burn yourself.
School does their best to let both the teachers as well as volunteers from Taiwan feel welcome.
The staff at school is really too kind. They are always caring for us and asking if we need anything. If we do need something, they immediately go and prepare it for us.
The teachers and students are all full of passion. Furthermore, the campus is clean and tidy, and the maintenance of the whole school is great. It makes me remember my school years.
Tzu Chi media volunteers are often too busy recording the news to take part in it, and that includes the Water Repentance Sutra. However, at a worldwide media volunteer seminar, these volunteers finally got a chance to put down their camera and experience the sutra firsthand. Let's take a look.
For most performances, they are on the sidelines recording, but this time, these media volunteers are the ones front and center as they work to get the moves just right.
Not yet, there's still one more time. Drop the hands and then slowly bring them down again.
It is a difficult challenge to memorize the sign language. I'm still not that good at it, but it is a good chance to challenge myself and see where I need to improve.
In order to correctly express the feeling of sailing of the Dharma vessel among the sea of karma, the media volunteers spend 2 days going over the moves.
I have long watched others do it as I filmed them, so I think for us media volunteers, this is really a rare chance.
Everyone realizes what a precious and rare opportunity this is, and thus goes over their parts again and again until they have the movements down perfect.
They are not bad at all. The hand movements now move at a stately pace and give everyone a feeling that they aren't rushed. I realized that these media volunteers, due to their past work, were very aware of the songs in the performance.
Giving their all, these media volunteers finally have the chance to not just record the stately nature of the sutra, but experience it firsthand.
Moving to Italy, where earthquakes between 5.8 and 6 magnitude happened over a 2-week period in May. Volunteers from Germany drove nearly 10 hours and 1,000 kilometers to North Italy to bring relief in the disaster area. With blessings from the volunteers and hope for the future, the residents were very happy and even wanted a souvenir from the memorable encounter.
This year's May was not very calm for Italy. Over 2 weeks, several earthquakes left many factories and buildings destroyed. 1.5 months later, German volunteers visited the disaster area, which was in worse shape than they had imagined. With their houses destroyed by the tremor, disaster victims could only seek shelter and tents.
Tonight they need to go to a hospital for checkup. their health conditions has never been that great.
Since the disaster, German volunteers have had difficulties in trying to cross the border to carry out relief work. Through different channels, Tzu Chi volunteer Rudolf Pfaff finally convinced the Italian government to allow Tzu Chi to enter the disaster zones to help quake victims. The journey of 1,000 kilometers from Germany cut through Austria before arriving into the heart of the disaster area, Modena, North Italy. When volunteers arrived, it was already 9:30 a.m. and they were immediately welcomed into the tents of the disaster victims.
Super good.
Knowing that the health of many senior residents is deteriorating and several school buildings and houses lay in ruins, Tzu Chi volunteers vow to return soon with plans to help victims rebuild their homes and lives.
Now moving to Vietnam, we join Tzu Chi volunteers as they distribute subsidies every month to care recipients. On one recent home visitation, Ran Shi Chunxiang, who received scholarship aid from Tzu Chi, decided to accompany the volunteers as she believes that the heartfelt care of the volunteers will bring recipients a life full of love.
In the eyes of many, promoting Tzu Chi's work in Vietnam is difficult. Despite the heavy rain and blocked roads, the volunteers always find a way to travel to their care recipients' houses. Tzu Chi volunteers take care of their assigned households every month and insist on delivering subsidies personally, no matter how long, far and muddy the way may be. Chinese businessman Li Junwu and his family think that this is much more meaningful than going on a vacation. University student Ran Si Chunxiang was raised by her grandmother after her parents' divorce. With the help of Tzu Chi, she has been able to continue her studies, so she decided to reciprocate Tzu Chi's love by taking part in the volunteer work. Though feeling uncertain at first, she quickly learns from the volunteers.
This means the world.
An activity group leader at school, Ran soon gets a handle on things, learning the sign language at a rapid clip and finding ways to interact with the children. It's difficult to recruit volunteers under the strict law of Vietnam. Simply taking Chunxiang out on this trip was quite difficult to do. But through mutual understanding and trust, a harmonious relationship is built.
First, we need to learn, and then we need to use what we have learned to help others. This is called the Bodhisattva way.
Anyone with the heart to give is a bodhisattva, and when love is paid forward, the world will be a better place.
At the end of the show, we go to the United States, where Tzu Chi's in the New York University, the Ohio University, and the Stanford University walk along the streets to promote the concept of environmental protection as their way to participate in the Marathon Recycling Day. That's all the time we have for. Enjoy your weekend. Goodbye.